Hello everyone, this is Sonia from Sonyas Creations, and I am going to get back to my rabbit book tonight. The reason it's taken me so long to get back to it is because apparently I got a little case of OCD. When something is bugging me, I mull it over for literally days before I can do anything about it. So what I'm mulling over right now is I don't like this. Actually, now that I look at it another time, in my mind, I had it looking so horrible, but I still think I'm going to change it, because the reason I'm going to change it is because I've got my holes, my eyelets, up a little too far from the top. They should have been further up, because what it's causing, besides me restless nights thinking about it, it's causing the pages, as you can see here, the string is having to reach up, and that will eventually cut the page. So what I want to do is I want to cut these off like that, and I am going to remove the eyelets. Not remove the eyelets, I can't do that. I would have a mess then. I am going to cover up the eyelets. And I've mulled that over, and I've mulled that over, and while I was mulling that over, I made and quilted and binded, about 50 quilts, and I have got to do my shipping tomorrow, and it's my least favorite thing about my job that I have to do. I do not enjoy shipping. It is my least favorite thing in the world to do. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to really cover up my pretty front here. I'm going to have to cover it up just a little bit like this. I've got this doily. I got a lot of doilies when we cleaned out my husband's parents' home after they both passed away. I wound up with a whole bunch of these. And this one, I'm going to use it to cover, I think. But I've got another option. And let me see if I can find it right quick. I found this the other day while I was fabric shopping. And I think this is going to actually work better. I'm going to cover the whole spine with this, and I think this will work a lot better. Cover up those eyelets, and then we'll put our pages in a different way. But first, I'm not very organized tonight. I want to show you a little haul I got the other day. I got this at this new fabric store that I have found that I absolutely love. This is a piece of toweling. It's finished on the edges, hemmed on the edges, but I thought that would make a beautiful Christmas junk journal, and I absolutely cannot stand it until I get some things caught up and I can make a Christmas junk journal. There's so many fun things you can do with Christmas. So there's fun things you can do with anything, but I'm really looking forward to doing one. But I got this. I got a half a yard of this, and it might do 2 books. It depends on how big I decide to make the books. I have got a noodle box in the house, and I think half of this will cover that noodle box. The noodle box is a great value from Walmart, and it's got a little window in the box, in the front of the box, and I'm going to use that window. And anyway, I haven't got a chance to do that yet, but I have to finish some things first. Alright, I'm going to move this down just a little bit. And we'll cut. Oh, sorry. I'm not done yet. I went to while I was out shopping for my fabric, I found this new wholesale place that I like to go. And I'll go in there. You have to buy fabric by the bolt. You can't buy just a yard or two. You have to buy the bolt. And I go in there and I tell them what I want, which they pretty much knew what I wanted before I went. I was waiting on their truck to come in so that I could go and pick up what I wanted. And while I was waiting on them to gather it all up, I went over to their retail store, and before you get to the retail store, there was a Goodwill. And it was a small town, and it wasn't a very big Goodwill. But I did find some really cool paper products. And I don't know, this says China, I don't know what that is. Trusted Zone, Personal Firewall, Home Networking, Trusted Ad. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I found this paper. It's like I guess it's like a linen type paper. It's, it's been torn on the edge right there. It's really, really pretty. And then it had this box. This box had envelopes in it. I don't know. A lot of times in the South, when something, and these are in the South, a lot of times the humidity will get to this glue and permanently glue those down. But these look like they're in pretty good shape. So we've got envelopes and paper like that. I found this ledger paper. I found this paper. This is 49 cents. I paid $5.12 for all the paper that I'm going to show you. So I thought that was a bargain. Got some pretty papers here and some envelopes. I got these they're I guess they're Christmas. Looks like it's got those are poinsettias with, looks like some pears and some red berries, but just some cards with some smaller envelopes. And then I got these Christmas cards. These are from the Dollar General, but I really liked them because they look like they're older, and there's some with glitter on them. And it looks like just a hodgepodge of Christmas cards and envelopes. Lots you can do with those. And I really like these. These are just some plain cardstock cards. There's absolutely nothing in those. We can make some pockets out of these. We can make some folders out of these. And then I have got these Christmas cards. Well, I like it because they open like this. And this is an invitation, apparently. Nice cardstock that can be used for a lot of things. And then we got the card here that we can do some fun things inside of these cards. I like the way they open. That's why I bought those. Then they came with some more of the invitation type things and some square envelopes. And some, looks like some adhesive. I don't know if that's what you seal the envelopes with or not. And then I got these unopened pack of index cards. They're unlined on both sides. They're unlined, and they will be a great. It'll make some kind of a great project. Haven't decided yet what I'm going to make. Also, this clear plastic that was over those one set of cards, that is really good to keep. And I paid $5.12 for all of this at the Goodwill. When you go to any Goodwill or any thrift store, any of those, they all have a lot of different, a big selection of paper products. And if you don't like what's on the card, that's okay. Just get it if it's a nice card stock and a nice size. Get it. There's all kinds of things that can be made with that. I had almost enough to do that again. I'll save that for maybe a smaller book another day. And I am going to glue this down. I'm going to use my art glitter glue. And I have stocked up on this art glitter glue for because if it freezes in the wintertime on the way to your home, in the process of being shipped, it will freeze and it is no good after it's frozen. It's a water-based glue. It's a permanent glue, but it's a water-based glue, and I have let my little point here get stopped up, but I'm going to take it off because I need a bigger dollop anyway. But this is art glitter glue. You can get it on Amazon, but I would go ahead and get it if you live in an area that has not it's not, you know, going to have freezing cold weather, because this stuff, it dries clear, and I'm going to make a mess mashing that down. Maybe if I just pat it just a little bit. Oh, I've just made an ugly mess. But this dries clear. It glues paper to paper, fabric to fabric, fabric to paper. It's a really good glue to have. But any kind of glue, and you'll find out that you have a favorite. You have favorite glues over, other glues, and I just was recommended this art glitter glue, and I really, really like it. And so what I want to do is go ahead, and I've got this is my retired cutting mat, and I am going to use this. I use my cutting mats in the shop out there until they're so scarred up that it's hard to cut anymore on them. And then I have one that I have retired, and it is in my house, and I use it to protect my little table that I use to cut t-shirts out in the house at night. I like to cut those out so I can sit down. Sometimes I'll get my ironing board out and do it on my ironing board, because I can adjust the height of my ironing board, and I have my iron there so that I can have that handy to iron when I need to, when I'm cutting out the t-shirt quilts. And I use one of the mats sincerely, truthfully, what the mat does is it makes my ironing board wider. But if I'm using my little table, it protects that little table from the scissors scuffing it up. Hold that down for just a minute, and hold this side down just for a minute. Don't know if you can see this or not. Let me move just a little bit. I don't think I put enough down this side. I really should be using tacky glue, but I went off and left it sitting on my sewing machine. I have two shops. This is a little bitty one, and this shop is one I used to sew in 7 years ago. And it took me, I think I did make quilts in this one for about two years, two Christmas before, the years before 2 Christmases. And I eventually moved into my living room because it got cold out here. And this shop is so small, I was afraid to heat it. I was afraid to heat my shop because I had so much lint and threads and all of that, and my husband put a gas heater in here, and I thought this is going to go up in flames one night. And so I moved into the living room and worked in there, and it was so bad, and I had so many orders, and it was just awful. It was awful. I can't tell you how terrible it was. And there we have it. And this will dry. I've just made a mess, but this will dry clear. I made such a mess that year that I got all of my orders done. I cried for 4 days. I put up a 2-foot Christmas tree on top of a bookshelf, and it was just terrible. And I told my husband, I said, either I get a bigger shop to work in or I quit. Well, I got a bigger shop. And so that is where I am today with my sewing, as I have a much bigger shop, and sometimes it is way too small. All right, I've got some muslin that I use to back my quilts with, and this is some white, and I have stained it. I've ripped it into like 1 inch, or maybe that may be half inch pieces, and I am going to take my signatures one at a time, open them to the middle. I think I'm really going to like this a lot. I'm going to put my string in here, put my string in here, and I'm going to tie this at one end into a knot, like this. Just into a regular knot. Leave a little bit of the string left over. I've got it in the middle of our signature here, and then I'm going to pull it to where it is tight. And I'm going to do that again on this end. So I'll have extra strings hanging out both top and bottom of the pages. Like this. Now we have one signature, and let's do the next one the same way. Trying to pull some of the loose strings off this. This is 100% cotton, and it is ravelly. Put this one in here, and we're going to tie these two ends together like so. Just leave a little bit of extra at the bottom. We might attach some danglies on the bottom of this before we get finished with this. We are going on a trip. I don't know if my youngest sister will get to go or not. She has rabbits, as I've already mentioned, and she does not go off and leave her rabbits. She's building a rabbitat, she calls it, in her garage out back. She's building a room for them. She's building a living room for them. She's starting on it tomorrow, and she's putting in, so they'll feel like they're at home when she's gone. She's finishing this room that's in this garage out behind her, that's out in her backyard. And one half of the garage is an efficiency apartment that she had finished for my brother to live in. And then the other half was unfinished, and it was a lot of storage. A lot of junk, like anybody else has. And she's cleaned all that out. And she has hired someone to come in and finish her rabbitat she's just making it into a room, just like somebody was going to move into it, I guess. And then she, so I don't know if she'll get to go on her trip with us, but her birthday is December the 7th. And I'm going to give this to her. We're going on our trip. We'll be back before her birthday's on the 7th, and we're coming back the 6th. So I would love to take this with me and give it to her. Have some cake and stuff on our trip. We're going to the mountains. My favorite place in the whole wide world is the mountains. I think in a previous life I must have been a mountain woman, because I absolutely love the mountains. I love everything about the mountains. I love the scenery. I love the snow in the winter. I just absolutely love the mountains. If I had, and I'm not wishing anything here, I'm just saying that if I did not have any family ties where I live now, and I have a lot of family ties here, but if I did not, I believe I would relocate to somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains. I just feel so relaxed and so at home there. But I do have family ties here, and this is where I was born, just down the road in Tuscumbia, Alabama. Haven't put any, I'm going to wait on that one. I haven't put anything inside of that one yet. I was born in the same city as Helen Keller, which is Tuscumbia. And I have an aunt that lives across the road, kind of catty-cornered across the road. And I have a sister that lives about a half a mile from me. And I have a sister that lives about 5 miles from me. I have 2 beautiful nieces that live right here in my community. And one of them is my niece Bethany, that helps me with keeps me caught up on my embroidery. That's a job right there. I really could use a night shift around here, but I don't trust a whole lot of people with the quality of work that I expect that goes out in my name. And so I just would not be comfortable having somebody out here working while I was not in attendance, that I was not overseeing. I have to oversee, because if I ever heard somebody say, oh, I think that's good enough, then I'd have to let them go. Because if you question if it's good enough or not, probably ain't. Probably not good enough for me. And I am real particular. I have built my business up over the past 7 years sewing for the public. And they constantly rave about the quality of my work. And so I don't want to lose that. I enjoy the fact that people like my quality of work. And I don't want to have somebody say, well, her quality is not as good as it used to be, because I've had somebody that come in and did some poor quality work and I didn't know about it. I guess I could inspect what they do, but I just rather be out there while I'm sewing. Bethany is out, and Bethany knows what I expect. Bethany knows what I expect out of her. She knows the quality of work that I demand. And she'll come over to me and she'll say, you know, what do you think about this? I mean, it'll be like borderline stuff. Just really, really borderline, if, you know. And I'll say, well, I think that's fine. I said, if they have a problem with it, they'll let me know. But it is always like a thread, one thread, or just the most minute thing. And I try to have a very professional quality of work always, always, always. So I am going to, while this is trying to keep, I don't want to glue anything that I don't want, glue to something to something I don't want. So I'll work on the other signature while I'm waiting on that to dry somewhat. And I think I will use some of my new stuff that I got in. I really like this paper. If I could put my hands back on it. I really, really like this. I'm going to attempt to stain this. Let's see, I've got milled lavender. I got, well, that one don't have a color. Doesn't have a color on it. I've got, and that one doesn't have a color on it. So let's go with milled lavender. How about it? This is going to be a rabbit book, so I think some light purple will be pretty. We're just going to go around the edges and stain this up a little bit. Give it more of a aged look to it. I like these finger sponges for the ink. I buy these. They come in a large bag. I think Joann's has got some, but they come in a small bag at Joann's. Hobby Lobby's got like a great big bag. It's like, I don't know if it's maybe about 20 in the bag or something like that. And I really like these. Use them over and over and over. You don't have to put them in an airtight container if you're not using them. Let's see how pretty that is. I don't know. I can increase my lighting. It's not too well. It's late at night, and I cook supper just like I do every night. Well, I cook supper Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, because that's the nights that my husband is home from work. And I eat things like egg sandwiches or boiled eggs or something like that during the week while he is gone. But on the weekends, I cook. I've got to noticing lately that we rarely eat out. We rarely go out anywhere and get anything to eat. I guess that's a conditioning of the COVID thing, which I'm not afraid to go out at all. But there was a while there that we couldn't go out. And I guess we just got out of the habit of it. We used to go out. Well, before we started really, really, really watching our money very closely, we used to go out too much. And then Excuse me. And then we got to limiting ourselves to, like, once a weekend we would go out and have eat something, and then and sometimes we'd go to Sonic and just eat in the truck. And then we got when we go to Sonic, I would take a bottle of ketchup, and I would take a little bowl of one of the little Pioneer Woman measuring bowls, and I would when we get there for onion rings or tater tots or whatever we were going to eat, I would have plenty of ketchup. I mean, they always give you as much as you want at Sonic, but you have to open up all those little tiny packs, and I would just bring some from home, and we had a little dipping bowl sitting on the console of the truck between us, and we would do that sometimes. But we haven't done that in a long time either. I just got in the habit of cooking, and my husband happens to like my cooking, so we eat in all the time, just about all the time. We hardly ever go and get anything anywhere. Might order a pizza every now and then or something like that. Let's see. Let's see how our glue is doing up here while I look for something else to I need to make sure that I have that fabric tack out here next time, because I'm really not liking that. That may be just a little too heavy for that art glitter glue. But everything's looking good. It's still a little tacky right there. Maybe okay to put my, but I've not got enough papers in my, oh, I remember what I got now. I printed these off, and I've stained them and aged them, as you can see right here. And the way I aged my papers, I downloaded this kit from, I don't remember. I bought it off of Etsy. I'm looking to see if there's a name on any of these. I don't see anything. But what I don't like about them, it's a full sheet. And it would be like you'd punch a hole in it and put it like in a binder. And that's not what I wanted. But I think some of these, like this one, would work well as a page. Because it's just, and this one would work well as a page, because it is just carrots, and got little carrots all over it, and this one's got like flowers all over it. But it was from the same DigiKit. You can go into Etsy and you can type in junk journal printable DigiKits, and you can and put in Christmas, or put in sewing, or put in, because I've got some sewing ones too that I'm gonna do for my, but I've got a lot of sewing things to do that I've downloaded for hers. But just type in, you know, what your interest is, Gothic or whatever, and it will show you everything that is available for printables. And I have recently bought myself a new inkjet, LaserJet printer, and about the time I fell in love with it, the ink dried up, and so and it turns out that the ink that was in it was just enough to just enough to last till you fell in love with it, and then it conked out on me. And the ink for these for the LaserJet is expensive and I ordered some off of Amazon. It promised it would fit my machine, and it did not. So I'm gonna have to go and buy some ink so I can print off the label that I need to print out the address to return that ink. And the ink for my, what I get for taking a shortcut, because the ink for my printer is about $350 for all 4 colors. And you can replace one color at a time. This is a glassine bag that I made, and I make them out of, I stain this wax paper, but I make them out of these sandwich deli deli wraps, and this is just, I made a glassine bag, and it's got a pocket on each side, and I'm going to stick this in here between these pages. No, I'm not, because it doesn't like that. And it's because I've got it glued, and it's got such a, I made these to actually store some things in, so I'm not going to use that. Let's see what else I can find just laying around here. This is the actual glassine bag that I bought. That one will fit. And let's see what else I've got. I bought this paper pack from Hobby Lobby the other day, in their Christmas section. And this is what I'm going to be making my Christmas, some of the pages I'm going to be using for my Christmas junk journal. Well, they don't like for people to really open these up too much, but it's got a lot of, some foils, some of them are not. That's got foil, that's pretty with the Christmas trees, some plaids. I don't know what that looks, looks like 4th of July. Santa Clauses, wreaths, let it snow. Some snowmen, which snowmen are my favorite. I love the snowmen. But that is one of the paper selections that I'm going to use for my Christmas journal when I get to it. I'm trying to see what else I got stuck back over here. And I've got all kind of stuff. This room right here is the most unorganized room I believe that ever existed. But I have been collecting stuff for so long out here while we were cleaning out my mother father-in-law's home, and I would find old envelopes, I would find all kinds of old folders, and I've just been collecting them and collecting them until I've collected myself right into a mess. I made this out of a file folder. It's just full of all kinds of pockets and tuck places. And if you wonder, what is a junk journal? Why do you want a junk journal? I don't know. I am just absolutely fascinated, and they are very relaxing to me to make. I just thoroughly enjoy. After a long day of shipping, getting things ready to ship like I did today, I just enjoy coming out here and just letting my imagination go freely. Here's a pretty much a full piece of paper that you can journal on. Stick it back in its pocket to go back and look at it another day. All kinds of cards and things in this folder. This is too big for my rabbit book. It's too tall. What else do I have around here? I don't think so. Alright. If I fold this away, I think this will be a really, excuse me, a really pretty page for in here. Tear it off that way. Nothing, it does not have to be the same size. All of your pages can be, it's just fun to have different sizes in here. We got Mrs. Peter Rabbit right there. And let's see what else. I've got this black and white Mrs. Peter Rabbit and all of her Mrs. Rabbit and all of her babies. This is a black and white sheet, and I think I'll do it this way. It's okay if it's sideways. It's my book. I can do what I want to with it. Ain't that right? But I do know it's too tall. So let's see. Let's put this one right here with by the carrots. And let's see. We've got a nice signature right here. So let's go ahead and put this in our book. And we're going to be adding all kinds of cool stuff to this. But I came out here to relax. I hate to leave people hanging on how to do things. So I guess, you know, I wear many hats. I wear many, many hats. I have managed, accidentally, to build a large, people are always after me to make them a quilt. I am constantly, it never stops. It absolutely never stops. Bethany and I were talking about, I believe yesterday, that I need to build on. I need to build, my building is too small now, and it's 4 times the size of the one that I started out with, and it's too small. I need a whole section of my shop dedicated to finished products. I have a lot of finished products that I offer. I guess I've learned to have a strategy when it comes to when I offer things for sale. And I never realized, before, you've seen, like, if you've ever worked in the retail business, you'll see, like, there's some boxes in the stock room, and they said they're not going to put those out until the middle of next month or whatever. But there's a strategy to that, and I have learned in my business there is a strategy when you offer things. My biggest mistake I made, one of the biggest mistakes I made when I first started making the Santa bags, was I offered them at Halloween. That is a huge mistake. Now I offer them in January. And I take order, when I fill those orders, I'll offer them again, and I offer them again, and then I offer them in September, and that I will not offer them again this year. And this is what we have now. We have some little raw fabric at the top. Let me pull this back up just to see if I can adjust this a little bit. And we've got some raw edge at the top. We have some raggedy things at the bottom. And we've got all of our signatures in there. The pages are not going to get torn. So now it's time to do some fun stuff. And I think I am going to cut my little ties, give them a little haircut down here at the bottom, I believe. They're a little bit longer than the ones at the top. So I'm going to give them just a little bit of a wee haircut. And then we're going to do a little bit of embellishing tonight. I don't know how much. And plus, another reason I have not been able to do this, I have been having a fit. An absolute fit with my back. It has given me misery. And I remember when I was a little girl, my grandmother, I used to say, my back hurts. And she'd say, you're too young to have a back. Well, I'm not too young anymore, because I'm telling you, my back was giving me a fit. For about 2 weeks there, I couldn't hardly sit still. I hurt so bad. I did manage to continue to sew, but it was not easy. I'm going to take some of this, rag it up just a little bit, just rough it up a little bit. And I'm going to take these and make some tabs. Take the art glitter glue, and I wished I had a straight pen, because I believe I could unstop my little end to this if I had a straight pen, but I don't see one. Alright, I'm going to make a little tab out of this. But what I was saying earlier, I have bought up, I've got this big bottle right here. Got this refillable bottle, the refill bottle. And plus the other day, I thought I better order me just a little more. So I went on to Amazon and ordered me just a little bit more. And I think, well, actually it was a big bottle, and it was a little tiny bottle that's really easy to squeeze, like for people who have arthritis or something like that, that it makes it hard for them to squeeze. These bigger bottles, it come with that, but it was empty. It had to be filled. It come with a little tiny funnel. Just putting a tab on that page like that. And we'll add some stuff to that. I need to get out some of these papers to put in between what I'm gluing here. Just picking random pages. Nothing in particular, just going through here till I see something I think needs a little tab on it. Just putting a little dab on this side, putting a little dab on this side, and then folding it onto this page. And folding it down like that. And we'll add some embellishment to this, on these pages, to these little tabs. I don't think I got any. Oh, my fabric folded down, so it covered up the glue. My niece Bethany, that I talk about a lot, she got to talking one day about that she would like to take her daughter. She's 10 years old. She would like to take her daughter to see something grand for the Christmas season. And I said, well, let's go to the Smokies and see the Christmas lights. Let's do that. So next thing I know, there's a whole bunch of us going. We've rented a house for the weekend on like an Airbnb. We've rented that. It's a 4-bedroom and I think 3 baths. Nice home. And we've rented that for the weekend. Split 4 ways. It was not bad at all. So it'll be me and my husband. And one thing you have to know about vacation rentals like that, it may have only 4 bedrooms, but it'll sleep like 16 because they have like a rec room and it'll have 2 sleeper sofas in there, and the living room will have a sleeper sofa, a couple sleeper sofas in there. One of the bedrooms may have a set of bunk beds and a queen size bed. I mean, they really make sure that there's enough beds for everybody. This is a 4-bedroom, and I think it sleeps like 16 people. So, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it's one of my most favorite places ever. It's the Great Smoky Mountains. Appalachian Mountains. Love it, love it, love it. And let's see. Alright. I think we've got enough tabs on there for right now. Let's pull these out. I think that's dry enough. Now, we've got to see our little tabs. May put one down closer to the bottom. This was nice and stained up. My husband doesn't understand why I like my papers all stained. I just like them to look like they've been around for a long time. I really do enjoy rustic and vintage and all of that. That's, I really should have been born well, if I'd been born 100 years ago, my great-grandmother's furniture wouldn't have been vintage then. Would not have been vintage then. It would have been new, but that's the kind. I like stuff that the paint's been knocked off of it. You can tell it's been loved and worn, and it's and somebody really it was very useful for someone. All right, we've got a nice, pretty chunky book right now going on. Let's make we've got our little notebook. We'll do a flip through on this when I'm finished. Got some nice writing areas in here. Let's see if we can find a place in here to put some kind of an embellishment. That's our first signature. Our second signature. Let's see. Let's pick us a spot to put a pocket. Could put a pocket on the back of that. That'd be nice. Let's see what we can find here. Let's lay this aside while we're making our pocket. Let's try one of those white cards. Okay, here we go. Alright, let's get out our circle punch. And we're going to put this in here about halfway. And it's marked on the sides here where halfway is. And we're going to put this in here about halfway. Hard to look at both sides at the same time. Alright, and center it about the middle of the card. Put us a little half circle tab right there. And what do we have over here? I do want to use up these. I think that will, I don't know, did I not bring my paper cutter back? I had to use it in the house on a project, and I don't think I brought it back out here. Oh well, we will just, let's ink this up first. Let's find a nice don't forget your folded edge, and I want to ink inside here. Whoop, didn't get enough. There we go. We're going to glue this together, so we only have to do the one spot that will show. Okay, get that inked. We're going to put that on the back side of that envelope. Let's see if it's going to fit at its current size. It's a little bit tall. So I'm just going to take my scissors and do the best I can. Let's see. I think it would be impossible to do this in a clean, in an organized area because you use so much. It's kind of like junk journaling is kind of like applique fabrics. I was talking to Bethany about applique fabrics yesterday, and I'm on my wrong end of the ruler, Sonya. Applique fabrics are so hard to organize because you use I'm going to do this at you can use the smallest piece of fabric. I'm going to go to 18 centimeters. You can use the smallest piece of fabric to do like the eyes on an applique or something like that. So it's really hard to throw away even the smallest pieces. Because sometimes that little smallest piece will get you, I am crooked, will get your project done. Okay, 18 centimeters. I'm left-handed. My left-handed brain is not functioning. That's not right. To 0. Let's put it like this so I know it's square. And go to that's not 18 centimeters. My left-handed brain is just really 12. It's at 12. Where did I get 18? I tell people all the time that I'm severely left-handed. Not just a little bit left-handed. I'm really left-handed. but I use right-handed scissors. That's what I learned to sew on, was what I learned to cut with was right-handed scissors. And one day I went to buy some scissors, and they didn't pay any attention. And I got home and I thought, what is wrong with these scissors? I can't cut. Everything I cut is like a fraction of an inch off of what it needs to be. I went back and looked at the package, and they were left-handed scissors. And I cannot, I cut left-handed, but I cut with right-handed scissors. Wrong dauber there, Sonia. Alright, let's decorate this with this that's not a, yeah, that is a rabbit. She's toting a basket of, let's see. I want to fussy cut this. Let me open it up so I can see where she's going to land. About right there. And when I cut this, I will cut the line off. Get rid of the line. I didn't mark the sides, so I'm going to cut just a little more than I know I'm going to need, so it will cover this well. And we still have a Peter right there with his little jumpsuit on. Alright, let's see. Oh, I forgot to cut my little thingamajig out here at the top. And I'm going to ink that so that we can't see my ink mark. It'll take away from my ink mark to ink this up a little bit. You don't have to use the ink you don't have to ink up your sides at all. It's just, I really do like it. I like the way it looks. And so that's why I do it. Let's get this finished up. And we'll quit for the night. I think I have settled down from my day enough to go in and try to get some rest. I do not rest well at all, ever. I get up in the mornings and the covers look like that somebody has been wrestling in there all night. And I just don't, I'm under so much pressure sometimes to get people's orders done that I feel like I wake up and I feel like I'm being choked. And so, a lot of times I just get up. Sometimes I go to the living room and watch a little TV and feel a little better, and we'll go and lay back down and maybe catch me another couple of hours of sleep. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just say to heck with it, might as well just get up. And I do. I get up and that's not, when that sticks really, really well. And I'm off just a little bit right there, but I can fix that. Now let's close this up, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this so this can be drying, and we'll go back and trim that up and close it up, and it magically becomes a pocket. And we are going to trim that off right there. And I might not trim it off. I might just add something along the side there. We'll see what we can find. Man, I want to trim this off. I left more than enough on the side here. we go. And put my little stopped up stopper on the top of my glue. And this is a card. I actually purchased this card from this tag from somebody on Etsy that just, that's what they do, is they make embellishments for junk journals. And I just thought they were so pretty. You know, it's her artwork that she did on the dictionary page, or I guess that's a dictionary, a French. No, it's the English dictionary pages, and I just thought that was so cute, and I bought several of those from her, because I like to add other people's things to my journals, because I just think it adds more interest to it. But this will be a place where you can stick a note that one of your, a picture, you know, fold up a note that one of your children may have left you, or your husband left you, and stick it down in there. We are going to make a tag for this, and let's see. What can I put down the side of this? Let's see, I've got this little decorative. That looks good, and that will cover up my mistake on the side here. And I'm going to have this glue unstuck by the time I come back to this. I want to get this book finished up and move on to the next one, because you could just absolutely go on and on and on and on and on and take a year to get your book finished. But I don't, this is a gift, and I do want to find a stopping spot, and so that I can give it to my sister. And we don't get real overly excited in my family. She will love it, and she will say, "Oh, that is so pretty," or "I really like that," or "Thank you." But she's not going to turn any flips or anything. And that's the way I am. You could bring me up, you could come to my door and say, "I brought you $1 million," and I'd say, "Well, I appreciate that, but I'm not going to jump through no hoops for you, I can tell you that." We just don't get overly excited. We don't have huge expressions of excitement. We just don't do that. We just never have. I got these beads here that I got at Joann's a while back when they run them on sale. I buy them, and I got these little pink bunnies. They're some kind of ceramic, porcelain, whatever. They are the Hildy and Joe ceramic beads is what they are. And I'm going to add these on here somewhere as a dangle. I've got seashells. I've got these really pretty, like, floral beads. I've got a bunch of different ones, and I am going to make something, and we'll probably add something else to this. I'm just going to give it a rest for tonight, because I've already been yakking for an hour. But one more look at the way that I have put the binding on this quilt. I mean, Lord have mercy. But I have put the binding on this journal. It's not a quilt. And I just love the way it looks. It's got the shabby chic look to it. It's got the raw fabric at the top with the ravels and at the bottom. And then we've got a nice chunky journal going right here. And we will be adding some stuff to it. We've got some tabs on here that we'll be adding some things to the tabs. This thing will have all kinds of things dangling off of it and hanging off of it. And it will be absolutely gorgeous when we get finished with it. It just takes some time. And sometimes I have to sit out here and think about what I'm going to do next. And thinking makes me tired. I know that's probably, you know, people make jokes about, well, thinking makes you tired. You probably don't do a lot of thinking. Well, I do a lot of thinking, and I'm tired all the time. Just trying to come up with a way to make things work the way that someone else had pictured in their mind. And the people that have these things pictured in their mind are people that don't know how to sew, don't know how to do things like that, but they've always got a picture in their mind of how they think it should look. And when you try to explain to them, it won't look like that. It can't look like that. They get so upset. But I think this is going great. And I think she's going to love this. And we'll get some more done on it. I'll try to work on it a little while in the evenings to kind of wind down and get ready to get some rest at night. And so this is what we have so far. This is the front. Have nothing on the back. I do have that thing I did when I was making the cover. I made another one of these, and I decided it was too big for the cover, and I've still got that, and I'm going to bring it over here and add that to somewhere in here. Find a nice page. I just love this paper right here. It's like a linen type paper. It's very nice. And at our carrot page, and I think a journal should have plenty of places to write down things that you want to remember. This is a recipe card, upside down. We've got a recipe card here. You can write on this. Can't tell it's a recipe card, but you can. It's got flowers, and I did stain it. Plenty of places to write there. All kinds of blank pages, but we're going to do something about so many blank pages. We're going to fill in some of those. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that like button and hit the subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I would love to reach 1,000 subscribers by Christmas. I wanted to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of September. I didn't make it. But I do budgeting videos, I do sewing tutorials, I do life videos sometimes, and I do junk journals, and I love to paper craft. It's very relaxing to me, and you can just do all kinds of things with paper crafting, just like you can with using fabric. So, and I guess one of the things I like about the junk journals is it incorporates sewing and paper, which are the two things that I really enjoy working with. And so, yeah, I think that's why it appeals to me so much. Plus, I really think it has something to do with my like of how much I like purses, because there's all kind of place. When I was a kid, I loved to look through a woman's purse, not because I was nosy about what they had in their purse, but all the pockets and the secret places you could stick things and zip things up and all of that sort of thing. And so I think this is just really cool how you can undo this string and stick a secret note that somebody gave to your card. Not really secret, but something that you want to keep close to you and want to keep forever. You could unwrap this and stick a card in there and close it back. You could write on the inside of this. You can slit open this end of the envelope and make another pocket there. And I just think it's all the little compartments and all the little things that you can discover every time you open your book, and the things that you can tuck away. I have got a check that my mother wrote to the garbage man years ago before she passed away, and I don't know why that's in there upside down. My mother passed away almost 29 years ago, and I have got a check that she wrote to the garbage man. No sentimental value whatsoever, except the fact that she wrote the check and she signed the check. And I've kept that check for all these years. I wouldn't take anything because my mother signed it. She held it in her hand. She signed it, and I just love it for that reason. And I will always have that check, and I will stick it back into my junk journal that I have got, that I write in quite often, and about what my goings ons are and what I've been doing. And not every day, because not every day is boring, but just something, accomplishment is made or whatever. I like to write it down. But anyway, please hit the subscribe button, and if you found anything useful about this video, let me know, so I'll know I hit the nail on the head for somebody. And we'll be back in a day or two to work on this again. Thank you. Bye-bye.